We adopted Luna, our white tabby cat, the same week we moved into the old house on East Hollow Road. She was timid at first, sticking close to our daughter, Ellie, who was 6 at the time. Ellie adored her immediately, carrying her around, feeding her bits of tuna from her fingers, and insisting Luna sleep beside her every night. The house itself was strange. Not in a broken or dilapidated way. No, it was structurally fine, but there was a quiet to it that felt too deep, like the walls absorbed sound. Ellie's laughter would echo down the halls and then vanish too fast, as if swallowed. But we were happy, at first. Then, a few weeks in, I noticed Luna doing something odd. Every night around the same time, between 2 and 3 a.m., Luna would wake up, jump off Ellie's bed, and sit perfectly still in the center of the hallway. She would stare straight up at the ceiling, unmoving, unblinking, for 10, sometimes 20 minutes. I didn't think much of it. Cats are weird. But then Ellie started doing it too. It began with the sleepwalking. One night, I heard soft footsteps padding down the hallway. I got up, thinking she was going to the bathroom, but she wasn't. She was standing in the same spot where Luna always sat, directly beneath the ceiling beam, her head tilted all the way back, staring straight up. Her eyes were open, but they didn't seem to be looking at anything. She didn't respond when I whispered her name. Didn't blink. Just stood there, neck craned, silent. Ellie. I touched her arm gently. She flinched like I'd burned her, blinked fast, and looked around confused. Why am I not in bed? You were sleepwalking, sweetheart, I said. Come on, let's go back. But when I looked down, Luna was sitting beside her, staring at the same spot. This became routine. Every night, between 2 and 3 a.m., Luna would go to that spot. And then, soon after, Ellie would follow. She never remembered it in the morning. Just smiled and asked for cereal, humming while Luna sat on her lap. Like nothing had happened. But things in the house weren't right. Toys moved from room to room. Doors creaked open even when locked. Sometimes, at night, I'd hear whispering, not clear enough to understand, but rhythmic. Almost like chanting. My wife, Mara, blamed stress. She said the move, the new job, a different school, it was too much, and I was projecting. But even she began to notice the temperature drop every night around that hour. The lights would dim, not off, just lower, as if the house was breathing and holding its breath. And then Luna began hissing at the ceiling. I set up cameras. It felt ridiculous, but I needed to know what was going on. I put one in the hallway, another in Ellie's room, and a third in the attic, which I hadn't really explored much. The attic was always cold. I assumed bad insulation, but something about the smell, like wet stone, made me avoid it. I reviewed the footage the next morning. 2:07 a.m., Luna walks into the hallway, sits, and looks up. 2:09 a.m., Ellie walks out of her room, eyes wide open, stands beside the cat, and mirrors her gaze. And then, at 2:14 a.m., something strange happens. On the attic cam, nothing moves. But there's a flicker of shadow, something in the corner, near the rafters. It's not smoke. It doesn't rise. It crawls. And then Ellie smiles. A big, strange, wide smile I've never seen on her before. I stopped watching after that. I didn't know how to bring it up to Mara. I didn't want to scare Ellie. I was still trying to convince myself it was a trick of the light. But that night, I locked the attic door. I used an old padlock and even nailed a plank across it. Just in case. And that's when things got worse. That night, Luna Didn't just sit and stare, she howled. Not meowed, howled, like something feral and ancient. I ran to the hallway and found Ellie already standing there, arms limp, head back, eyes wide open. Her mouth was moving, but no sound came out. Then the attic door began to rattle. I had nailed it shut. I checked it 3 times. But it rattled, violently, as if something on the other side was trying to break out. Luna bolted down the stairs and hid under the couch. I carried Ellie back to bed. She was ice cold. Mara finally believed me after that. She had scratches down her arms the next morning, thin, precise lines she couldn't explain. She said she dreamed of a woman with no face standing above Ellie's bed, whispering something over and over. She belongs to me now. We called a priest. He blessed the house. Said he felt something, old here. Not demonic, but ancient. Something that was here before you. Before this house. His words didn't comfort me. He didn't come back. Then Ellie stopped talking. She'd sit for hours, holding Luna, stroking her fur, humming softly. The humming was the same melody every time, a low, droning tune. I tried looking it up. It wasn't a nursery rhyme or a lullaby. But it made my ears ring whenever she did it. She drew pictures too, of the ceiling, mostly. Or a woman with long black hair hanging upside down, her eyes blank, her mouth wide open. In one drawing, the woman was coming down from the attic beams, arms outstretched, toward a small stick figure labeled, me. And then one morning, I found Luna dead. She was lying in the hallway beneath the ceiling, exactly where she always sat. There were no wounds, no signs of a struggle. Just her little body, still warm, eyes wide open, staring straight up. Ellie didn't cry. She didn't even react. She just looked at me and said, "She went up there." Up where, sweetheart? To the place above the ceiling. She told me it was her time. We buried Luna under the maple tree in the backyard. That night, Ellie didn't sleepwalk. She didn't hum. She just stood at her window, watching the tree sway in the wind. But at exactly 2:13 a.m., the attic door burst open. The nails were still in the wood, bent outward. The lock had been twisted, not broken, twisted into a spiral shape like soft clay. And from the attic, I heard footsteps. Slow, deliberate. I grabbed Ellie and ran. We didn't stop to pack. We didn't look back. We haven't returned since. But sometimes, late at night, I hear that humming again. Coming from Ellie's room. And when I check on her, she's sitting on her bed, eyes open, smiling at the ceiling. I ask her what she's doing. She just says, "Luna's back." And from the shadows above her bed, I sometimes see the faint outline of a tail, swaying. Waiting.